Interacting with an Aussie can be trickier than you think. Their intentions may be friendly, but you could be walking into a conversational minefield and about to earn a cheeky comeback that maybe you weren't expecting. Lucky for you, I've got the insider knowledge to keep you out of trouble. Wait until you hear number 5. It really shocks me.
You better take cover.
Today we're looking at the 7 things you should absolutely, positively never say to an Aussie.
What's the most offensive thing that Americans say to seem Australian? Is it like, that's not a knife?
That one's...
Would you like a bloomin' onion?
That one's on the... Yeah.
So buckle up, slip, slop and slap, because these are the most cringiest nails on chalkboard questions that I've been asked as an Aussie living in the US. Let's kick things off with a big one, a real classic that you hear way more often than you'd think. Do you speak English in Australia?
English is very good. How long did it take you to learn English once you got here?
It was really easy because we speak English in Australia, you idiot.
Oh. Right,
Yep.
of course.
English is our national language. The confusion usually comes from our accent and our unstoppable urge to shorten every word. Umbrella becomes brolly. Chicken is chook and mosquito turns into mozzie. It's not a different language. It's just English that's been left in the sun for a bit too long and come back with a decent tan. And believe it or not, I've met people who genuinely thought we spoke Australian, like it's a whole nother language and different from American English.
Austria.
Well then, g'day, mate.
Asking an Aussie if they speak English is a bit like asking a Texan if they speak American. It can come across as a little patronising. Now, instead of questioning it, have a go at deciphering our slang. Try figuring out what chucking a sickie means or why your mate is suddenly flat out like a lizard drinking. It's all English, just with more personality and maybe a few more flies as well.
I just inhaled a fly.
Aussies are generally pretty open, friendly and laid back. But there is a line, and crossing it early is like bringing a meat pie to a vegan barbecue. Questions like, what church do you go to? Why don't you have any kids yet? How much money do you make? Or what are your political views? Will have us typically backing away faster than a tourist who's just spotted a huntsman spider in their hotel room. Sure, in some countries, these might be normal icebreakers, but for Aussies, it's kind of like asking someone to show you their browser history on a first date. We're thinking, well, steady on, mate. We just
Delete.
So when you're getting to know an Aussie, keep it lighter. Talk about travel, hobbies, whether pineapple belongs on pizza, or have a good whinge about the weather. We love that sort of thing.
Already feeling the chill in the air as the low pressure system sweeps through our state. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Look, basically it's going to be really cold over the next few days.
What would you say is the most iconic of Australian words? G'day? To me, it has to be the word mate. It's a term of friendship, a sign of our true blue spirit. So you might think that to be friendly with an Aussie, you should start dropping the word mate into every sentence, right? Yeah, nah, you'd be wrong. Mate is not just a word. It's kind of like a status. It has to be earned. You can't just step off the plane and start calling the customs officer mate. When an Aussie calls you mate, it's usually a sign of acceptance. But when a non-Aussie overuses it, especially with a clunky accent, it sounds incredibly forced and probably a bit condescending as well.
Big deal, thanks, mate.
We can spot a fake mate from miles away, and it makes us cringe. It feels like someone you just met calling you buddy or pal over and over. It's just off. So, golden rule, let the Aussie make the first mate move. Then you'll be free to use mate in return. Forcing it to sound more Australian is a one-way ticket to getting a polite but very distant smile. Let's talk about the single most famous, most quoted and most incorrect line ever associated with Australia. Of all the stereotypes I get thrown at me, this would be number 1. Now picture this, you're at a Barbie, the snags are sizzling and You reckon you'll break the ice with what you think is a classic Aussie line.
Throw another shrimp on the Barbie.
And just like that, the record scratches. Every Aussie within earshot will give you a polite but weary glare. First up, we don't say shrimp. They're prawns. Calling them shrimp is like calling Vegemite chocolate spread, or saying aluminum instead of aluminium. It just doesn't sit right. Dropping shrimp on the Barbie is the verbal equivalent of rocking up to a pub in a cork hat, clutching a boomerang and ordering a Foster's. Not offensive, but it instantly marks you as someone whose entire Aussie education came from a Crocodile Dundee VHS and a souvenir fridge magnet.
I'll slip an extra shrimp on the Barbie for you.
Here's one that honestly floored me the first time I heard it in the States, and I've heard it way more times than I ever expected. A dingo ate my baby. Now, Aussies have an irreverent sense of humour, but most of us draw the line with this one. Attributed to Linda Chamberlain, the phrase was used when her daughter Azaria was taken by a dingo while on holiday in Uluru. Every time I hear it, I can't help but cringe. It's not quirky slang or some harmless meme. It's a reminder of a real family's nightmare. Some things aren't meant to be punchlines, and yet I've heard this so many times in a joking fashion here, it's just kind of weird. Typically they put on a fake Aussie accent and say it, so while it might seem like a quirky line from pop culture, my tip, avoid this one. This one surprises me at just how often I hear it. Australia and New Zealand are not the same place. We are about as different as Vegemite and Marmite, similar at a glance, but trust me, only one belongs on your toast. Australia is a huge sunburnt land full of kangaroos, giant spiders, and hot with a chance of swooping magpies kind of weather. New Zealand, it's a land of stunning islands where sheep outnumber people. The views look straight out of a Windows XP wallpaper, and the accents make ordering fish and chips an adventure.
Kiwi accent, but that's really easy. All you do is you take all the vowels and just move them one along. Let me demonstrate.
Take all the vowels, remove the O, take a word, pen, push it one along, pin, take another word, fish.
Culturally, we're kind of like siblings with totally different posters on the wall. Aussies are laid back, love a good Barbie, and enjoy confusing Americans with slang. Kiwis are humble, rugby mad, and make you feel guilty for not recycling. So no, we're not exactly the same. One gave you Hugh Jackman, the other gave you Lord of the Rings. Our last one is thanks to decades of tourism ads which have convinced the world that every Aussie is a surfer hanging out at Bondi. Truth is, most Aussies don't even own a surfboard. So making the assumption that every Australian you meet is a surfer is setting yourself up for failure. Australia is huge. Think deserts, snowy mountains, and cities packed with people from all walks of life. Asking if we surf every day is kind of like asking a New Yorker if they spend weekends in Times Square. It's a huge part of our national identity, and a lot of us love it, but it isn't the universal experience that it's made out to be. Try asking about our favourite local spot, whether that's a park, a cafe, or maybe it is a beach. You'll get a far more interesting and authentic answer that way. Crash course complete. Now you're ready to chat with Aussies without accidentally stepping on a cultural landmine. If you got a laugh or you learned something new, smash that like button for me, subscribe for more Aussie insights, and ding the bell so you never miss an episode. Got your own never say this to an Aussie story or heard a classic tourist blunder? Toss that one in the comments for me. I read every single one and love to have a good yarn. At the end of the day, Aussies are a welcoming bunch. Bring a curiosity and a sense of humour and you'll fit right in. Hooroo, mateys.